all been there, where we want to come out to a family member, friend, or anyone really. The problem is, you don't know if it will be safe, if things will ever be the same with that person again, or even if you could be physically harmed as a result of your leap of faith to show who you truly are. In this video, you'll hear about some good and bad experiences coming out from the LGBTQIA+ community. I'll sum those up into a few main points and direct you to some resources to help you on your journey of coming out and finding out who you truly are in life. Make sure to like the video if you enjoy it, subscribe if you're new, and with that, let's hear from our first guest.
Hello YouTube. So here I got my first guest online. Say hello to Esta. Esta, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Esta. I'm 42. I live in Houston.
And for reference, Esta uses they, them pronouns. So get that right, audience. So yeah, I got a few questions for you today. No pressure.
Okay.
If you don't feel like sharing something super personal, it's okay. But the first question I have for you is, tell me about an experience coming out to someone that was overall positive and why.
Let's see. Overall positive. Well, when it came out to my dad, I was, I think, in college at the time, and I had been out on a car ride with him, and we had been talking about all kinds of things, and then the last thing that I shared with him was that I was bisexual, which I wasn't bisexual, I was gay, but I was using bisexuality as sort of a stepping stone to telling him that I was gay. And he accepted it right away, which was very relieving for me, and I felt supported, and it was a big weight off my mind to have my dad accept me like that.
I'm really glad that you shared that with us. Honestly, I'm glad that your dad, my granddad, accepted you, because like you deserve that support. Every LGBTQ+ person deserves that support, especially from their immediate family and such, because if you don't have your family, you really don't have much. So thank you for sharing. The second prompt is, tell me about an experience coming out to someone that was overall negative and why. And if you don't have any negative experiences, just share like a neutral one or a less positive one.
Well, actually, when I came out to my mom, that was not as positive. I came out to her a little while after I came out to my dad. And I was more nervous to come out to her because I had a feeling that she would not be as accepting. And when I came out to her, she said that she didn't understand and that she wouldn't understand, and sort of that was the end of it. So I was hurt by that, and sort of didn't really know what to do or how to move forward. But as time passed, my mom, of course, loved me, and educated herself more and became used to the idea and realized that my queerness wasn't going away. So she accepted it, and now she is a big supporter of me and the LGBTQ community. So eventually everything came out all right, but at first it was a little bit hard.
Thanks for sharing that as well. It must have been hard, just like with literally your own mother not understanding you, literally the person who created you not being able to understand who her own child really was. And but I'm also glad that she eventually came to understand you, because without it, we wouldn't really have that much of a family going anymore. and you wouldn't really have anyone to look up to, count on as much. So I'm happy that things turned out the way they did for you.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Well, thanks for your time, Auntie Esta. That was really, really insightful and powerful. Looks
Thank
like
you,
the
Max.
channel's off to a great start.
Okay.
All
I
right.
look forward to watching your videos.
Thanks.
Well, those were some interesting and powerful insights from our first guest, but let's try to unpack them just a little bit. The first thing that we can glean from Essa's insights is the importance of a support system for someone who identifies as LGBTQIA+. When they came out to their dad, the fact that he accepted Esta, basically immediately, really touched them. And the feeling of being able to be yourself around someone is one of the best feelings in the world. And considering how hard that can be for members of the LGBTQIA+ community sometimes, having that kind of support backbone is invaluable for us. The other thing that we can take away from this is that sometimes queerness can be hard to understand. It's understandable that people like Esta's mom would not have known about this growing up, so it would have been hard to accept it and understand it at first. However, Esta's mom had an attitude of curiosity. She led with love instead of fear. She tried to understand her child a little bit better. And through that, the eventual acceptance finally came. If that kind of attitude would be implemented all the time with people, a lot of this world's problems could be resolved. If we were to lead with love instead of fear, if we stopped fearing the unknown and we tried to embrace change, the world could be so much better. And with that, we have one more guest today, who will be known as Dante. He uses he/him pronouns, and he's very generously written some of his experiences out for us, and I'll read them here.
And this is what Dante has to say to us. So, for prompt 1, tell me about an experience coming out to someone that was overall positive and why. I'm super lucky to have supportive friends and family, and my mom has been one of my biggest supporters, especially considering that she is 61, and therefore at the tail end of the baby boomer generation, which is not known for loving queer people. Like many queer people, I've had to come out multiple times as I've grown up and learned more about my identity. And every time, my mom was ready to support me in what I needed at the time. My clearest coming out memory with her would have to be when I was in 6th grade. I was maybe a year into puberty, and like many trans people, I discovered that I was not a huge fan of the changes I was going through. I had been toying with the idea of not being cis since the previous school year when I had discovered the internet and had decided that after about a year it was time to tell my mom. We were in the car, and since we were in the area, I said, "Can I get a snow cone?" at the local snow cone place that they were in. So we pulled in and I got my snow cone. And I remember that at school that day, I had drawn out a little spectrum to explain being non-binary to my mom. Anyways, I bring out my little diagram, come out as trans mask, and my mom starts crying and says that she's so happy that I felt comfortable telling her. So then I started crying and we hugged, and I got the obligatory trans mask boy haircut and bought way too many button-ups at Old Navy. And now I'm almost 18 and my mom is going to endocrinologist visits with me to hopefully start on testosterone. Thank you, Dante. That was really, really good. Why is everyone so powerful? Honestly, I'm at a loss for words with just how beautiful people can be, how real their experiences can be. Anyways, for the second prompt, tell me about a time in coming out to someone that was overall less positive and why. The worst coming out experience that I can recall would be my half-sister. I only really see my siblings at holidays because they're all 20 plus years older than me, so it wasn't a huge deal. But while my other siblings have been supportive, she still wants to call me my dead name, which sucks, but like I said, we aren't super close, so I don't mind. But I'm super lucky that that's the worst story that I have to share. Yeah, I mean, I hope that Dante's experiences help you on deciding your path to coming out or not.
Well, those stories really do show how having someone that you're close and open with can really impact the likelihood of being accepted as yourself. Once again, leading with love, Dante's mom has shown us the power of having a good support system. And Dante's sister has shown us how not being as close to someone sometimes won't cultivate the same bonds as living with someone your whole life. And as such, she was not nearly as accepting as his mom. Well, to sum everything up, I think the most important thing to consider when coming out to someone is whether they either love you for who you truly are or have a tendency to accept people for who they truly are. That could mean a close friend, that could mean a family member, that could mean a teacher that's like always nice to everyone and brings in candy every Friday. Honestly, it could be almost anything. But familial love especially tends to be pretty unconditional. So if you consider yourself to have a good family life, or if you consider your friend group to not be toxic, then it's probably safe to come out to them. However, if your relationship with the person is abusive, strained, or more closed off, it might not be as safe to come out to them, and you may instead want to look for support from a counselor, a different friend, or call the National Youth Talk Line at 800-246-7743. Thanks for watching, y'all. I really hope this video helped you on your journey of life and helped you whether or not to come out to the person you were thinking. And remember, no matter what you think, you are always loved and welcomed on this channel. Have a good one.